In this next exercise, I'd like you to create 6 different possibilities for real estate loans. Okay, they're simple loans that include initial cost, down payment, given an annual interest rate, a number of years, using the payment function to calculate the amount of a payment, what the total payback and the cost of the loan might be, using various values that are listed up here. Now, this exercise isn't supposed to be that daunting or that scary. The fact that we have 6 of them shouldn't bother you, and I'll lead you through that. So first I need to set it up so everything is gone. But this is our result. This is what we want. Well, now that everything is gone, it's time for you to put in some formulas. And from our earlier exercise, you should be able to calculate these on your own. In fact, I'd rather you try to calculate all of these and come back and one at a time. We'll do them one at a time, and I'll show you how in case you run into trouble. Okay, so first put in a formula that would calculate a loan amount given an initial cost and a down payment. And then resume when you're ready for the next. To create a loan amount, we always start our formula with what symbol? It's the equal sign. And for this case, let's think about what we need here. We have an initial cost of $250,000 and a down payment of $20,000. In business, that means that what we're going to have to borrow is going to be $20,000 less than the original cost. So I'll take the original and I'll use the minus and subtract the next value, the down payment. And now I should have a loan amount. And it makes sense. Now this value showed up as blue only because I've pre-formatted this particular cell to be blue. That lets you know or reminds you that that's a calculated value. Let's look at the interest per month. Now, given an annual interest of 4.125%, interest per month was simply 1/12 of the annual interest. So I want you to create the formula here, and then in a moment I will go through and we'll make sure you did it correctly. So begin. To create the interest per month or the interest per period, we're going to take the original interest equal this cell divided by 12. Okay? And these two cells, do you remember these two cells need to be either pre-formatted as percent? If you don't, you'll get a strange number. In fact, if you got a 1, that means it's probably rounded up. You'll need to expand, and you should know how to do that. Let's see, I'll click here. You need to expand your decimals to make it display. Okay? Your original may not have this already set. Okay, the next one is the number of payments. Now, given real estate loans tend to be 10, 15, 20, 30 years, they're not actually haggled over by month to month. That needs to be calculated. So if this is a monthly payment, there's 12 months a year, what formula shall we use? Go ahead and enter it now. The formula here, again, starts with 12, or rather with an equal sign. We'll take the number of years, represented by this cell, and we'll multiply using the asterisk and the value 12. So we have, in this case, 20 years is 240 months. And you know that should seem right to you. Now for the payment function. Payment function will start with the equal sign and type the payment functions, which is PMT. Now, if you didn't know that, you could click on functions and search for it, or if the toolbar was here, we'd click on functions and search for it there. And remember, when I use the payment function, each of these functions will tell me what values are needed in order to return the right value. And this is pretty well spelled out. So the first thing it wants to know about is the rate. The rate, not annually, because we're getting monthly payments. We want the monthly interest rate. So we'll click on that cell. And to delineate or separate the values, we'll put a comma. Now it wants NPER. And what do you suppose NPER stands for? Number of payments. So let's select that cell. We'll again delineate with a comma. And the last one is the present value of the loan. And the present value is the loan amount. And we'll close this with an end paren and press enter. So that's our payment. And it's automatically made red and in parentheses because it's a negative number. That's how much money is going out. Okay. So now we know how much a loan for $230,000 for a 20-year loan at this interest rate, we know what the payment would be. Well, we need to calculate a few more things to make our decisions, and one is the total payback. In other words, if we write a check for $1,408.95 240 times, how much is that totaled? Well, we should be able to calculate that as well. Again, this is where you click pause and create the formula yourself. Your formula should look something like this: equal the payment, and then, as I described, times the number of payments. So it looks like we're going to pay back $338,148.14. Now we only borrowed $230,000 or $230,000, so we're paying what looks like $100,000 more back. That must be what they added on to our loan. In other words, that's the cost of the loan. Let's see if we can calculate that. Now this formula is a little tricky. Remember, we're going to start with a negative number, and to find out the cost of the loan, we need to remove the amount that was actually given to us or loaned to us to make this purchase. So we find the difference between the loan amount and the payback amount, noticing that one's a negative number and one's a positive number. How do you suppose you'd do that? Well, this is how I would do it. I would select the total payback value, and then since I want the difference between the two, I'm going to add this positive number because I know it'll reduce the payback by that amount. And it looks like it did cost us $108,148.14. Okay? Well, now you just have to do that, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. Well, don't despair. The way I want you to do that, or the way I would do it, you can type this all in, but I plan to select the range of cells using my right mouse button on the border, drag that range of cells over and copy it here. Once copied, all I have to do is go up and find out that the down is 20,000, so I have 20 is the same. My interest rate is 4.25, so this needs to be changed to 4.25. And it's a 30-year loan, so I'll make this a 30. And I'm done. And repeat the same for down below. Right click, right drag rather, copy here, and change this value. See, 30K down, so we'll change this to a 30. And our interest rate is 125, still the same, and it's a 20-year loan, so we're done here. That wasn't hard. Let's do one more. Right drag, copy here. This one wants 30K down again. 120, or I should have copied the one above. It doesn't matter, as long as it works. 125, and this time a 30-year loan, so 30. And we'll copy it once more. We can copy any one of these. We can copy this one. Right mouse button, right drag, down here, and change the values to match what's been requested. Looks like it's a 50K down, 125 still, a 20-year loan, and this one, let's copy from the one above, because I think more of the values are equal or similar. And copy here. This one, 50. I see the pattern. These values are the same for each of the rows. Interest rate 125 and the year amount. Okay, I think we're done. Now that that's done, I'd like you to scroll down and notice that I have one more question for you. I want you to look at these 6 options and choose the best option that you think would be right, well, from what you know already, from what we discussed in class. I don't want you to type out besides typing which option, I want you to type out your reason. So please explain why you would choose that. Okay?